and have a furry friend. Emma Hamilton, KSC TV.
Adopting the transgender policy at Keene School District will make it possible for students to feel more comfortable using the restrooms. That puppy dog face, wagging tails, playing fetch are sure to melt the blues away. Students can't wipe the smiles off their faces while spending time with a furry friend.
We all know that if you like a dog, that having a chance to pet a dog or spend time around a dog just makes you feel better. And let's face it, when somebody wags their tail at you, you have to feel better.
That's why Keene State's fraternity Sigma Pi hosted Sigma Puppies for the campus community members last week. This event was part of the altruistic campus experience project the fraternity is affiliated with.
Tried to find a way to make it relevant to college students, so we decided to focus on raising awareness about college depression.
Hasbaka says their fraternity is required to host one event a year that benefits the campus community. According to Healthline, 1 out of 4 college students suffers from some form of mental illness, including depression. Having dogs as therapy on campus was Sigma Pi's way to help alleviate that stress for KSC students.
Everybody is smiling and laughing and petting dogs and having a great time, and just I am seeing so many smiles and giggles. It's just great.
Abel says Monadnock Humane Society has been bringing dogs to campus for 5 to 6 years. They love Keene State students and the way their dogs have an impact on them.
I think everyone gets super excited when they hear about the dogs.
Having dogs here on campus for students to be able to pet and play with makes it so that they can de-stress a little bit and have a furry friend. Emma Hamilton, KSC TV. Jenna Hall graduated from Keene High in 2016. She's glad to hear about the new transgender policy, but it came too later for her.
Probably would have come out publicly a lot earlier if there was a support structure in place at the high school, more so than there was, because I would have felt more comfortable coming out because there wouldn't have been as much risk involved potentially.
Jenna only told a few friends she was transgender back in high school. She was afraid of potential violence and or bullying by her classmates.
Students feel more comfortable coming out because they'll feel like the school is behind them on whatever happens.
Keene is one of the several school districts in New Hampshire and across the country dealing with this issue. It has been divisive in some places, but not here.
Well, as you know, it's been a national issue that's been very much out in the open for the last couple of years. So we looked at other school districts in the state. We're beginning to do policies. We realize that it's something that we need to do here in Keene as well.
Murdo says the policy was written in a way that applies to all students, transgender or not, and will protect any child's privacy. He considers it a positive step in the right direction.
I think it's wise. It's they're members of our community. Like any other child, they're entitled to a free and appropriate public education in a safe environment. So it's important that we take steps to do that. And also, any of our policies are really there to be guidance for our staff. And hopefully we're out ahead of issues so that when things arise, we have a policy in place that provides some direction to the staff on what they should do, how they should address the issue.
Jenna says her friends who still attend Keene High School are excited about the policy. She's also excited about the policy being adopted not only in the high school, but also in all schools in the district.
I'm glad that it's a conversation that's happening because I feel like it's a conversation that needs to happen everywhere, basically. And I mean, it sucks that it needs to be a conversation in the first place.
The transgender policy in Keene school districts is making it so students, like Jenna, are able to feel safer in their environment and choose the bathroom, locker room, and sports teams that they identify with. I'm Emma Hamilton, KSC TV. Snow and cold were in short supply for most of February. Temperatures got so warm last month, the melt turned on fast and continued right up to the critical school vacation week. But while the snow base was going down, it wasn't all bad news on the mountain.
Definitely affected us in a few different ways. We had a really good holiday week, which was nice last week with all the kids out of school, so that was really good. And then obviously it got warm, which was on the first kind of side of things really nice because we brought a lot of people out here when it was 60, 65 and sunny. But then it's sort of hurt us a little bit now, just with some lack of snow.
Even with the lack of snow, skiers look forward to the runs down the mountain in the warm temperatures.
Spring skiing is nice because you don't have to bundle up as much. Usually I go and it's like 5 to 10 degrees like it was this past weekend, but skiing in a t-shirt and sunglasses versus a helmet and goggles and full winter gear and Under Armour is kind of nice.
The Southeast Regional Climate Center estimates this will go down as one of the 10 warmest winters in New England. It has some winter sports enthusiasts wondering about the effects of climate change on the future of their sports.
My thoughts about climate change and global warming and skiing, it's sad, but a lot of people don't realize with the warmer temperatures and the more humid air that is going to happen from it, we'll actually get more snow for a little bit. So skiing might get better out here, but long term I'm going to be upset about it.
The surprising warm weather in February was beneficial for skiers who could start to ski in the springtime weather. Luckily, it came late enough in the season that it didn't impact the business here at Granite Gorge too drastically. Emma Hamilton, KSC TV. Good evening and welcome to the April 20th edition of KSC TV News. I'm Emma Hamilton.
And I'm Tim Smith. Thanks for tuning in this evening.
Pumpkin Fest could be returning to Keene this year. Festival organizers have sent a written proposal to the Keene City Council and the Mayor's office. KSC TV's Matt Dudley reports that proposal is asking for a much different festival than those of the past. It may be a few weeks before the City Council takes an action on the plan. The Sentinel reports the Planning, License and Development Committee voted to table the proposal until organizers could sit down and talk with both the fire and police departments. The legislature is also considering using public money to fund private education. The Sentinel reports Bill 193 would establish a school voucher program with state education aid. This bill would include private schools, charter schools, and religious schools. The Brattleboro Union High School principal is getting top honors. Stephen Perrin has been named High School Principal of the Year for Vermont. He began working at Union High in 1995 as a science teacher and was named principal in 2011. On August 2nd, Perrin will be recognized as the Vermont Principals Association Leadership Academy Banquet in Killington, Vermont. On Monday, chair of the organization LEAP, Law Enforcement Action Partnership, came to Keene State College. Richard Van Wickler discussed what LEAP is all about. LEAP is a nonprofit organization composed of police, prosecutors, judges, and other criminal justice professionals. They use their expertise to advance drug policy and criminal justice reforms that improve public safety. Van Wickler says he wants to be clear that LEAP is not advocating drug use.
This organization does not advocate the use of any drug, including tobacco, alcohol, things that can hurt you. But here's what we do know as adults, that other adults are going to alter their mind however they want. They're going to continue to do that. We can't control it, so we have to manage it.
For more information about LEAP and how to donate, visit lawenforcementactionpartnership.org. Again, that's lawenforcementactionpartnership.org. There's a new program to help opioid-dependent babies born to addicted mothers. The Sentinel reports the Cheshire Medical Center in Keene will be starting a program to cuddle these babies. The cuddling is to help ease opioid-addicted babies that are dealing with withdrawal symptoms. Right now, there are 16 to 20 cuddling-trained volunteers. Up next, we'll tell you about what's happening on campus. Students living off campus need to know small details in order to receive their security deposit when moving out. Be the Match organization came to campus last week.
Here's Samantha Pinot to tell us about that in our Appian Way Today report. Samantha?
Thanks, Samantha. Coming up in sports, the Owls baseball team suffered a tough loss this week. We'll tell you how. The Owls lost a tough one on the diamond this week. Here's Alyssa Salerno to tell us more in sports.
Alyssa?
Thanks, Alyssa. Granite Staters know winter is over for sure when they hear those two magic words. We'll tell you what they are next. That's all for this edition of KSC TV. Thanks for tuning in.
We'll be back next week at the same time. We'll see you then and have a good evening.